Hello and welcome to Sunflower Philosophy Tarot. My name is Juliana and I'm really excited for today's Timeless Pick a Card reading because today we are celebrating you for something. I don't know what yet, but it can be anything. It can be something that you're aware of that you've achieved, that you are being encouraged to celebrate, or it could be something that you're not aware of, maybe something that you've really improved on that you haven't noticed in your life that we're bringing your attention to here. So I, as always, set the intention that whatever will come through will be for your highest good. And so, as always, you can use your intuition and determine what messages are for you. But I highly encourage you to come in with an open mind about what we're going to be celebrating and to really open up to the energy of celebration as well. So we're going to, as usual, have a centering exercise to get you into the zone for this reading. And I'm going to do that before the card group selection, before I go over the groups or the rest of the reading itself. And you can always skip that and go straight to the group selection if you want. But if you want to join me for the centering exercise, we're going to get into that right now. So, if you're joining me for the centering exercise, first of all, I ask that you be not in the middle of doing anything like not driving or doing anything where you need to pay attention. But if you are able to sit back and relax and just take a few minutes for yourself, then that's perfect. This is for you. And we're going to start by turning your attention to your breathing. And if you feel called to, allowing your eyes to fall shut and get yourself comfortable as well. You know, if you want to lie down or just get into a more comfortable seat, whatever you want to do. And just notice your breathing, the inhale, the exhale. You don't have to make any changes, although your breathing may adjust as you bring your attention to it. If there are any adjustments you want to make, if you want to slow it down a little bit, if you want to count your breaths a little bit, up to you. But mostly, we're setting the intention to really settle into our bodies here and get in touch with our intuition, as always. Just sit with ourselves for a few minutes. See if you can really melt into the surface that you are resting on with each exhale. Just melting further and further, becoming more and more relaxed, dropping down into your heart space here. Maybe imagining that every inhale and exhale is entering through your heart and exiting through your heart. And as you're just simply tuning in and relaxing further and further, if you wish, you might like to tune into the energy of celebration. So notice any feelings or even thoughts or imagery that pop up when I say the word celebration. And it could be anything. Allow what comes up to come up. No need to judge it. If there are any messages for you from yourself here that come up around the word celebration, allow them to come through, but simply engage with the sensation. What does celebration feel like in your body? Sit with that for a little while here. You might just repeat the word celebration to yourself a few times. there's any energies that have come up around that word, you can even release the word itself and just focus on the energies, the sensations, the feelings. Where are they in your body? And do they make you want to move or bring up any specific memories? It doesn't matter. Whatever it is for you. If it's nothing, let it be nothing. And now you may set the intention to bring your intuition and this feeling of celebration with you into the group selection and into your reading as we now move out of this centering exercise, though you may pause the video and remain with yourself for a little while if you would like to do that, of course. But for those of you who are ready to move on, we're going to enter the group selection portion now and get into the reading. All right, so we are at the group selection now. Thank you to those of you who joined me for the centering exercise. And regardless, I'm so excited that you're here for this reading. I feel like this one will be pretty interesting and maybe uplifting, fun even. So I have set out 4 groups here, and I have arranged them with the 6 of Wands from each card deck that we'll be using for the reading to basically tap into that energy of celebration ahead of time. Originally, I was actually going to go with the 4 of Wands, but I felt like the 6 of Wands for each of these decks in particular really was more along the lines of what I'm looking to bring forward in this reading. So I have 4 groups. I'm going to use the 6 of Wands card from each group and the Oracle cards that I already pulled under those cards to get started on what we are celebrating for each group, and then I will use the card deck that each of these 6 of Wands is from to get further clarification and messages about what we're celebrating and why we're celebrating it, and go from there. So to get started, we have group 1 over here with this 6 of Wands from the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, classic 6 of Wands here. And then group 2, we have the 6 of Wands from the Mystic Mondays Tarot. We have for group 3, the 6 of Wands or 6 of Strength from the Dungeons and Dragons Tarot. And from group 4, we have the 6 of Wands or Victory card from the Thoth Tarot, or Thoth Tarot. I'm not 100% sure how it's pronounced, but it's the Aleister Crowley deck. So, as always, use your intuition to choose your groups, and you can always choose more than one if you feel like there's more than one message here for you in each of these groups. And take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I will see you over in your reading. Hi, group 1. If you selected the classic Rider-Waite-Smith 6 of Wands, then you are in the right place, and this is your reading all about what we are celebrating you for right now. So we're celebrating you for something. There's some kind of victory or achievement here that Spirit or the Ethers or whomever you want wants to bring your attention to. So I'm really excited about this reading. I think I already said that, but it's just a good energy. So let's just get started by flipping over your oracle cards and seeing what we are celebrating for you. So we have first this bird card, Feathered Omens card with Blue Jay. Be careful of choices you make. We have this moon card with New Moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than take. And we have this angel card with forgiveness. I forgive myself and others. I am free. Okay, so I'm actually going to put this in the center here, and I'm going to put your 6 of Wands over there. And first things first, I I was drawn to with this Six of Wands how, I mean, some of them, maybe even most of them, show like a solitary figure being celebrated on a horse, maybe above others. But I will say maybe for some of you, this celebration that we're having with regards to you is a celebration of you and you alone. Like almost for some of you, I'm feeling like maybe you've broken away from some kind of relationship or even group in this case. So you've risen above something in a way that has set you apart from others that may have just no longer aligned with you, or even like a thought system, or even past versions of yourself that may not align with you anymore. But with forgiveness in particular, for all of you, what we're celebrating here is forgiveness. There is some area of your life in which you have reached a new milestone or achievement that has lent you a new understanding or a new level of forgiveness for yourself and or others. And I feel like that is often interchangeable, because whether we're forgiving ourselves or another, usually even if we're forgiving others, we're also really forgiving ourselves, because even if we feel like we've been a victim of someone else or a circumstance, often there is still a deep sense of regret that we have for the choices that we made that we view as having put us in a certain situation, or having put us at the sort of under the control of someone else, or into a situation that we didn't want to be in. And so whether or not it's right for us to blame ourselves in those situations, often there is a part of us that does. And so for a lot of you, I feel like you have reached a new level of understanding and forgiveness about a situation, person, or event in your past that is allowing you to let go of perfectionism and move into a new chapter. Because we have new moon in Virgo here. New moon is always a new start. And with Virgo here, I feel like it's a new start in the way that you think of things, and maybe even think of yourself and think of your actions and the choices that you've made. And it's also going to help you in the choices that you make moving forward. Like something to do with your decision making is going to be easier because you've let go of something around some choices that you've made in your past. Because we have the Blue Jay over here with be careful of choices that you make. So I feel like we're forgiving something that is around some choice that you've made. Again, whether you are forgiving a situation where you felt like a victim, or you're forgiving a situation where you felt like you were at fault, or some mix of the two, you are moving out of this energy of being overly cautious, maybe being afraid to make decisions, not trusting yourself, because that can happen sometimes if we're faced with regret over things that we have done in the past. We don't trust ourselves to make decisions because we have a whole bunch of stories about why this choice or this outcome means that we're a bad person, or that we're not trustworthy, or that we make mistakes. And if you allow that story to take over your life, then it can make it hard for you to make decisions going into the future, because you don't know how you're going to know what's right and wrong. And whether consciously or not, there's definitely some kind of like barrier that you've broken through, or hump that you've gotten over, or milestone that you've crossed in terms of forgiveness of the past, that is allowing you to give yourself to things again, to make decisions and trust your decision-making process, and also trust yourself to put yourself out there in some way. Yeah, and I feel like with the Six of Wands over here too, like this person's really putting themselves out there. You're putting yourself up on a pedestal again, maybe, where something, again, whether a choice you made or a situation that you were in, maybe really took away your self-trust, your even like dented your ego pretty badly, in a way where you weren't able to put your decisions and your own self up on that pedestal in like a healthy way, in a way that allows you to trust yourself and allows you to move forward with confidence. So we're celebrating that. So I did feel like this group might have a bit of a heavy energy around it, maybe even some sadness or grief. And I don't know if that's something that you still feel like you're processing over a specific situation or just in general. That's something that you've been working on consciously. But again, whether it's conscious or not, like there's some kind of milestone you've hit here that we're bringing attention to. And we're celebrating it. So I feel like for a lot of you, this has come to an end. Like there's a cycle that's come to an end here that again is bringing about this new moon, this new start, this new way of thinking, analyzing even, with Virgo being very analytical. And I keep coming back to thinking with Virgo as well, because for me personally, that's my moon placement associated with like your internal life and your thoughts and things like that. So that signifies to me often like how we think. And so in general, sometimes when that kind of message comes through, I feel like that's what it's signifying to me here. And yeah, that's really nice. That's really great. I want to get into the tarot now to get more information about what we're celebrating and why Spirit in particular wants to celebrate this. So why is this coming up right now to celebrate? Why are we celebrating group 1 for this? I feel like that's pretty obvious, but let's see what Spirit has to say, or your spirit guides even. Okay, we got the 6 of Swords. Why are we celebrating this? We've got Strength. Why are we celebrating this? Oh, we got 3 cards together. All right, I'm going to have to cover up one of them. So give me a minute. We've got the 5 of Cups with the Lovers card. Yeah, you've definitely really set yourself free, because I'm coming back to the affirmation on the Forgiveness card, and where it says, I forgive myself and others, I am free. So you definitely set yourself free here. The Lovers card, the 5 of Cups, and the 8 of Cups. I'm going to get one more card. One more card here. One more card for group 1 about why we are celebrating this. Oh, I want to cover this up too, I guess. And we've got the Sun card here, which is just an absolutely joyous card. Joyful. We love the Sun card. Happiest card in the deck, or at least one of them. Okay, so group 1. Why are we celebrating this milestone in forgiveness? Well, obviously because you are moving on to bigger and better things. You're moving on to calmer waters. You're moving into a better, more positive cycle. And yeah, you're just moving on in general. Like when you reach a state of forgiveness with yourself or others or a situation, that is when you are moving on from something, when you're ready to move on. So that's exciting. And this moving on process is bringing you to a better place. And with Strength here, I feel like we're really restoring an aspect of your ego. Like we're restoring your confidence. We're restoring your courage to make decisions, like I said before. And it might be in some cases, for some of you, we are specifically talking about in the realm of romantic relationships with the Lovers card here and the 5 of Cups and the 8 of Cups. Like it does not have to be. This could be about your relationship with yourself as well. Just bringing together even the 2 energies of the 5 of Cups and the 8 of Cups, where you're able to walk away from disappointment and move on. So yeah, so either specifically we're talking about walking away from a disappointment in love, in relationships, and this is signifying that. It's maybe confirmation for those of you who feel like that's what this is about. But in general, it's also this ability to notice and take into account when you've felt disappointed, whether in yourself or others or a situation, and then being able to turn away from that disappointment towards something, whether a mindset or actually like a physical opportunity that is more fulfilling, right? So it's like you can acknowledge and accept disappointment and then more easily move on because of that. And so yeah, so for some of you, this is even if it's not around a specific thing or event or person, right? Because for some of you, this definitely could be, and there could be a specific thing that's coming to mind. But for others, it's even just a general attitude that you might have once had towards loss, towards failure, towards regret, towards life in general, where you might have gone through a cycle where it was hard for you to acknowledge or open yourself up to disappointment, to situations where you might let yourself down or let others down or have others feel let down by you or whatever it is. It's like, if we're stuck in this space where we don't even want to look at or acknowledge the possibility of disappointment, we're also putting ourselves constantly into a state of disappointment, right? Because we're not letting ourselves dream big. We're not letting ourselves take steps to try new things. We're not letting ourselves be free to, quote unquote, make mistakes. And so then it can be hard for us to even acknowledge when we feel let down, because we don't even want to acknowledge that that is a thing that we feel, right? But then because we don't want to acknowledge that it's the thing that we feel, it becomes something that defines us, right? Because it's almost like, oh no, disappointment is bad, I don't want to feel that. But then when you feel it, you can't let it go, right? You can't move on. When you feel let down or you feel aggrieved by something, you can't let it go until you've acknowledged it. And so you've gotten really good at acknowledging when you feel disappointment, when you feel let down, when something doesn't seem like what you want, even if it's just a part of you that feels that way, that needs to be acknowledged so that you can say, I hear you, I feel you, you're valid, and then turn away from that disappointment, let it be there, but turn towards optimism, turn towards something more fulfilling, turn towards a new perspective that allows you to fully enjoy and embrace all of the positives of either the situation itself or a new opportunity that you're turning towards as a result of leaving behind whatever didn't work out in your perspective, if that makes sense. And this way of relating to life is just bringing you so much more joy and optimism. Like, I feel like let me move this back because it's just, there's so much shadow over here. I feel like you're embracing so much optimism now, and that's what your new start is about. And with a time to give rather than take, because you have this new relationship with forgiveness, like, you're able to forgive yourself and others and situations so much more smoothly and easily and quickly that you're more confident to give, to put yourself out there. And it doesn't matter what situation that's in. It's in relationships, in creativity, in your workspace. It's everywhere. I feel like this actually impacts every area of your life. So regardless if you're someone who had a specific situation that you're working on forgiving, or if you're someone who in general just has been shifting your relationship with disappointment, again, like consciously or unconsciously, the point that you've reached now allows you to move through those feelings of forgiveness, of grief, of sadness, of disappointment so much more smoothly, so much more quickly, that you don't even think twice, or at least you think less before you just put yourself out there, before you go for something, right? The old thoughts and patterns that held you back out of fear of letdown, out of fear of even needing to go through the process of forgiveness because you didn't know how, you felt like you didn't know how to forgive, right? You didn't know how to forgive a situation. You didn't know how to forgive yourself. It's like learning how to go through that process, feeling more confident in going through that process. It moves everything along so much easier for you, right? Because let me think of a specific example, because it can be as small as you I don't know, you go to, let's use dating. You go on a date, right? And maybe you just don't really enjoy the date. Like, you don't click, it's not really that fun, right? Maybe for some of you that would have been a really big deal in the past. Like, I shouldn't even do this at all. Like, that was such a disappointment. I'm such a disappointment. Or the other person, like, you didn't know how to handle just, like, not enjoying it. And you might have gotten hung up on that and then not tried again, either with the same person or a different person or a different situation, right? You might have gotten too caught up in the idea of even being disappointed that before you even went on a date, you would be like, oh, this is just going to be a disappointment, right? Because it's, again, like that idea of, like, not knowing how to move through disappointment and making mistakes, quote unquote, made you anticipate disappointment, made you set yourself up for disappointment because you were clinging to that energy because you're trying to protect yourself from it. But if you don't feel like you need to be protected from it, if you feel like you're totally prepared to handle it and deal with it and like you're not even afraid of it anymore, then all of a sudden you're just less worried about it, you have less of a grip on it, and you're less likely to feel disappointment because you're not focused on it. You're not focused on, oh no, I need to stop myself from being disappointed. And you're more focused on, oh, okay, I'm enjoying the moment. What's going on in this moment? And if something is like not for you, you're more likely to just be like, oh, that was a cool experience. I'm just going to move on over here. That's not for me. Versus being like, oh God, that didn't work out. How can I stop that from happening again in the future? How can I make sure it works out in the future, right? And that's huge. That's great. And for those of you who have really been consciously processing this, you probably don't even need me to explain all that. Like, you probably are like, yep, that's me. That's what I did. I was working on that. Like, that's what I really wanted to accomplish. But for a lot of us, these things that we process and move through, they're not even always fully conscious. You know, we might not even understand all the nuances until after the fact. And so I hope for you this right now is clarifying how big of an achievement that is, how cool that is, and what that really means for you going forward, now that you are able to more easily process those feelings and just be lighter about life, right? Because that allows you to just be lighter about the situations that you come in contact with, because you're not afraid of how you're going to handle it if something doesn't go in the way that you expect. And that totally shifts your perspective also on situations where things might not be going as you expect, but where you might have previously been disappointed. Now you might be more open to curiosity, right? You might be more open to, oh, well, I didn't expect this, but instead of being automatically disappointed that I didn't expect it, that it's not what I expected, I'm more like, ooh, okay, like maybe there is something here for me to engage with in a different way, right? Like you're just more open-minded to how things could go. So it's just, yeah, it's a really free energy. You've set yourself free, and that is so cool. And any of you who aren't totally like on board with celebrating this yet, like you don't know if you've actually reached that point, first of all, take this as confirmation that you have. Feel free to just claim that now. But also recognize that this in and of itself is a process. So really what you've been doing is getting better at that process. And if you do feel like you still want to get better at it, you can become more conscious of it. If you feel like you haven't really been consciously working towards this, notice how you handle disappointment in your everyday life and practice with even little things, you know, even things that aren't that big of a deal, but like still kind of get to you. You can practice on those things and consciously help yourself move along in that direction. But regardless, obviously we're celebrating it because you've already done it, right? Like you're already there. So that's awesome. That's so cool. This is a really great energy to embrace and to embody, and I'm really proud of you because it's not always an easy thing to overcome or to even become aware of within yourself, and it's totally understandable why this is a pattern that someone might have gotten into of disappointment, of not being able to forgive self or others. And depending on your situation, if you know you've had a lot of maybe really heavy situations that have lent to this self-protectiveness, of course it's going to take some time to undo those layers. Of course it's okay, no matter how long it's taken. And it's really just exciting that you got here, because it's opening you up in a new way. But this is in no way an indictment of your past self. This is just like, hey, what a cool journey that you've been on. Look how far you've come, right? And I love that for you. And so now, to close it out, because I feel like that's all we've really got here, I'm just going to pull a Hafiz card, because those are good ways to close out these kinds of readings. And so the Hafiz card is advice. So this is advice for you. Well, I mean, I think your main advice here is really just to celebrate yourself, right? So maybe, okay, we can't have that. I just had to recover the Lover's card because when I shuffled the Hafiz cards, their little cover-up blew away. Anyway, I was saying the main advice here is to celebrate yourself. So maybe do something special, like take yourself out on a date, or take yourself to get some good food, or buy yourself something cute, or just have like a self-care moment, you know what I mean? Or whatever you want to do to celebrate yourself. And even just like sitting for a moment and just being like, I celebrate that. That's so cool. Just acknowledging it, right? Maybe putting it, like writing it down in like a gratitude journal or something. That just will help solidify that feeling of pride that you are being invited to have in yourself here. But with the Hafiz card, I want to just get any advice that wants to come through about what you can do with this achievement. And right now, just marinate in it, right? But this is like after you take some time to do that. What can you do with this achievement? What is this celebration, this thing that we're celebrating, going to help you do in your life? And so we've got number 14 with take action, which is pretty self-explanatory here. It's like whatever you've been held back from taking action on, now that you are feeling strong and brave and ready to handle anything, you're just naturally going to take more action towards the things that you want, towards things that excite you. And if there's anything in particular that you've been hesitating to take action on, trust that you have what it takes to now take action on those things that you've been holding back on. You're ready for it now. So go for it. And I'll just read it out of the little booklet as well. Take action number 14. The mind is like a bow, and our thoughts can be golden arrows. Who is not always hunting satisfaction? Who is not beseeching a kiss from the mouth of heaven? Knowing her lips and having a key to her house. Let me be your guide. Okay, Hafiz, thanks. And the blurb says, the time for reflection has passed. Show up, stand up, step up, make that next move. Action has genius fire in it, and it can revitalize and kindle your life, relationships, and projects. Don't hold back. Instead, hold yourself in the alignment of what you know is your highest truth, and take action towards embodying that truth through your deeds. Yeah, and so you probably already are on the vibe of this, but yeah, this is just what you've unlocked for yourself, is the ability to take action more easily. So you can take this as advice if that feels empowering, but it's also like just the natural product of what you've achieved here, is taking action towards what you love, towards what excites you, towards what you're interested in, with less worry, with little to no fear of how you're going to handle it, because again, you have gotten stronger and more confident in your ability to forgive, to let go, to move on, and to embrace an open mind about what is coming to you in every given moment. And that's so cool. So that's all I have for you in this message today, Group 1. Thank you so much for being here. You're doing amazing. We're so excited about this for you. Thank you so much. And if you're interested, please like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to know how this resonated, if you want to share. And if you're interested in personal readings, we do offer those on our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com, link in the description. And we also have hypnosis and human design services available. So if you're interested in any of that, check that out. And thank you so much again for watching. I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Group 2, if you selected the Mystic Mondays 6 of Wands, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading about what we are celebrating you for right now. What are we celebrating? What does Spirit want you to celebrate? And I am going to start by flipping over your oracle cards, and we'll talk a bit more about what it is that we're actually celebrating you for, and then we'll get some more details and close with a Hafiz card about where this is all taking you. So let's start by flipping over your cards. So we have 2 bird cards for you and 2 moon cards, just how it came out. So we've got Pheasant with time of fertility and creativity, and Singing with express your creativity. So that goes together very well already. Then we also have 2 moon cards, one being The Energy is Gaining Momentum, Waxing Moon, and the other being Believe in the Impossible, Blue Moon. Wow, okay. Actually, I'm going to move these over here. I'm going to put these over here. I forget how I arranged it in the other group, I'm not going to lie, but it doesn't really matter because we'll still get the messages we need to get. All right. And then we have your angel card as well. To further clarify, we have Fun. I master my emotions. Excellent. All right, so 6 of Wands, I mean, everyone's got the 6 of Wands. Mystic Mondays, 6 of Wands, Group 2. Well, first of all, with the 6 of Wands in this deck, this person definitely looks like they're having fun. They're also definitely like shooting upward towards the sun, right? Like, so I feel like there's definitely something here about you moving up in some way. And there's definitely fun surrounding that with these bright orange colors. It's very fiery, very passionate energy. And this could be for you about a particular creative journey that you're on, where you are leveling up in some way. And this is very important. This just came up specifically. Whether you've seen, like, if there's some kind of creative endeavor or project or thing that you've been creating and cultivating that you are looking to level up or improve, whether it's actually happening right now or just recently happened in a physical way where, like, say, for example, you got a bunch of views on your most recent project that you put out. Like, we're celebrating that if that has already happened. But even if you haven't seen something like that concretely happen, if there's something that you've been working towards or putting effort into, it's like that is happening for you, is in the process of happening, or has already happened, like, in the non-physical realm, and you will soon see evidence of that. Like, you've broken through some kind of, I said this in, like, the previous reading, but it was completely different, but you've broken through some kind of barrier or whatever, where you're just, like, on that upward trajectory, and you'll start seeing more physical signs of that soon. But we're celebrating you for really tapping into the fun and, like, your fun side, like the fun that you have in creating something. And it doesn't matter if it's a business, an art project, in general, like creating your life, even just like your creative energy is turned on, it's turned up, and you have been consciously or unconsciously cultivating this by cultivating fun in your life, like finding the fun in things. Even for some of you, maybe things that you used to not find fun, you're embracing the fun in those things, and that is bringing you an incredible boost in momentum that will bring through, like, believe in the impossible. We have Blue Moon here. That's going to bring through success in some area, in some way to you that you might not even, like, it might be like beyond the level of what you even are thinking about consciously or like even want to achieve, but like in a good way. Like, this is exciting. So it's like, if there are any impossible dreams that you have, first of all, believe in them, but also believe that something beyond what you're even dreaming, beyond your wildest dreams, I heard, is very possible for you and even on its way. And the energy is gaining momentum through you engaging with things in a new and fun way, through you cultivating fun and embodying the energy of fun, which again is something that you are already doing, consciously or unconsciously. This is something that we are celebrating you for, because I feel like it's something that you have been really tapping into lately. And if you've been actively expressing yourself creatively more, and just expressing yourself in general more openly and confidently, and like consciously setting the intention to create and express and have fun with it, like, yeah, excellent. That is moving you exactly where you want to be, where you need to be. It's really, this is a great energy. This is a fun energy. And you're skyrocketing. I keep hearing the word skyrocketing. So I don't know if some of you are building some kind of platform or business or looking for some kind of recognition, but it's giving the vibe of like an overnight success for some people, or like a celebrity who hits, like, whether or not that's actually what you want to happen or what's happening for you. It's like, even like I said, if it's not physically happening right now, it's like in the ethers, that's like the vibe that we're hitting, right? And so that means that inevitably whatever you want to succeed in and pursue, there's really good energy around it. So we love that. So we're gonna get some more clarification, some more information on why we're celebrating this, although we kind of have started to tap into that already, but we're gonna get some more information from the Mystic Mondays Tarot on why we're celebrating this. Like, why is this the thing that we're talking about right now? So, ooh, exciting. I have so much energy just like tapping into this group. Okay, we're going to, let's shuffle this up a little bit more. All right, Spirit. I didn't specify who we're like asking here because I just intend it to be like the energy that needs to come through. So it could be your spirit guides, it could be the universe. When I say spirit, it's kind of just like the non-physical in general, right? Who have that perspective that we don't have in the physical. So let's see, let's get some let's get some information on why are we celebrating this? All right, so why are we celebrating this for group 2? Why are we celebrating this for group 2? Interesting, okay. We're going to get 5 cards here. Why are we celebrating this for group 2? All right. Why are we celebrating this for group 2? Okay, actually, I'm going to put it like this. And one more card. Why are we celebrating group 2? Okay. So to me, what we're seeing here is kind of the journey that you've been on. And I feel like it's almost like this 9 of Cups reversed, King of Cups reversed was you struggling with those energies, because like 9 of Cups and King of Cups, it's emotional satisfaction. It's being like calm and and the Lover's on the bottom of the deck. I just feel like that's significant here. So any of you who are like looking for something like romantic here, that could be relevant, but in general, I feel like just love and fun in general is embodied in that card, and connection with yourself and connection with others. So those might be important parts of your journey right now. But with the 9 of Cups and King of Cups reversed here, like I feel like you might have had a lot of emotional turmoil or just difficulties managing your emotions in the past. And with fun here, I master my emotions, right? So you have been working on consciously or unconsciously mastering your emotions, becoming this King of Cups, embodying this 9 of Cups. So the fact that they came out reversed, I feel like this was energy that you were struggling with in the past, that you maybe struggled to find satisfaction in life. Maybe you struggled to find fun. Your emotions seemed to be like maybe dragging you down at times. Maybe you had a lot of emotional imbalances, maybe even a physical, in the physical aspect of like your body had like some kind of hormonal imbalance that was made it difficult for you to have fun, to enjoy yourself. And you really turned that around with this Princess of Wands, which is also the Page of Wands. This is like a very passionate but childlike energy in the sense of like it's creative. The Page of Wands is the youngest one, right? They put themselves out there. Maybe for some of you, even with the way that this Princess of Wands is standing, maybe you actually physically, like you've recently engaged in some kind of or leveled up like your like exercise routine, or just like how you move your body or how you relate to your body, that is helping you and has helped you cultivate this sense of fun. Maybe helped you clear your energy out, helped start you anew. Because with this Fool card here, like this is just like you've regained like your sense of innocence, of play. The Fool doesn't care that they're about to walk off the cliff, because the Fool's having too much fun, right? And yeah, maybe walking off the cliff, like you might get a few scrapes and bruises, but think about like a kid who's running around and then they fall down. Maybe they cry, but usually they get right back up and just keep going, or they cry for a few minutes and then they're back at it, right? Because they just want to have fun. And that's the energy that you're really embodying here. And this is bringing you golden opportunities, I just heard, in your physical realm. And I do feel like for a lot of you, this is related to your finances, but it could be related to also just anything that for you signifies abundance, because that is an energy first. It's like, even if you don't have like the money in the bank, if you have an energy of abundance, you're always going to get exactly what you need when you need it, right? And so I feel like you cultivating this energy of fun is you cultivating more energy, and the energy of abundance naturally flows through you from that energy that you've created for yourself. And I feel like your belief in the impossible, like believing the impossible, like maybe this Fool is going to fall off the cliff, but maybe she's going to fly, because you believe in the impossible now. And so with this Ace of Pentacles representing infinite potential, like that's what you've opened yourself up for. And the universe responds to your belief in the infinite potential. And again, like I think for a lot of you, this does come down to some kind of up-leveling in your ability to create. Your creativity has probably increased, but also I feel like you've been working to increase your creativity and express it more. And so I feel like for those of you, we're celebrating this, so I feel like these are things that you've already done. But if there is any action that's been untaken as of yet in terms of expressing your creativity, in terms of putting yourself out there, you will at least recognize within yourself a willingness to do so and an excitement to do so that you either have consciously or unconsciously been cultivating. But regardless if there's any advice here in terms of keeping this momentum going, it's just continuing to express yourself freely. It's challenging yourself in moments when you feel like maybe you've pulled out of this energy, or you're just struggling to maybe embrace this energy again. Like reminding yourself that you've basically built a momentum in a positive direction. So any drag that you might feel occasionally, anything that you might feel is pulling you back from time to time, it's no match for this positive momentum. It's no match for this forward moving momentum, right? So it's not going to hold you back. It's not going to stop you. You're already on this path. Like, you've created so much positive momentum that any little like feeling of drag, or days when, sometimes you just feel like you drift back into an old story or drift back into an old version of yourself, or you just feel a little bit lower, like that is going to be a blip on the screen of your life as you continue moving forward in this momentum. I feel like you've reached like critical mass in terms of positive momentum, so it's almost like it has no choice but to continue moving in that direction. And no matter if it's a 2 steps forward, 1 step back thing, that 1 step back is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So you can move through even the harder days with faith in yourself. And you got tools. You probably have cultivated enough tools where you know how to handle and deal with anything that might feel like a drag on your energy from now on in a much smoother, faster way, and a way that is gentle and respectful of yourself and where you're at, while also helping you easily move forward in almost any. I feel like a lot of you could really do anything like, and have fun with it, right, at this point, because like the fun, the positive momentum, the energy is coming from within you. That's why I feel like for a lot of you, you probably haven't actually seen the physical evidence of this energy yet, in like, if you have a specific goal that you're chasing or moving towards, or even if you don't even know what you're moving towards, you just are moving your energy, you're having more fun, whatnot. Like, even if you haven't seen like a tremendous change in your reality yet from that, I feel like a lot of you maybe haven't, because you're learning to cultivate it within yourself first, so that no matter what's going on around you, you never lose that. You never lose your connection to yourself. You never lose your connection to fun and to enjoyment. And so that means that even if you get a bunch of money, or you get a bunch of followers, you get like whatever it is that you want to create, like you have success with it, you get the relationship with you that you want, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Like, in terms of, you weren't waiting for that in order to have fun. You weren't waiting for that in order to enjoy yourself. That is only going to provide you new and different opportunities to have fun, maybe, but maybe help you expand, or be a physical sign of your expansion into new ways of having fun. But it's not going to like supply you anything that you were missing, because you have already been cultivating it within yourself. So it's like you didn't need to see any physical results in order to already have this experience. And so this is a sign to keep doing that, keep having fun. It's absolutely building momentum, and you know better than anyone else probably that you don't need to be attached to any outcome, because you already have this within yourself that you've been creating. And whether you've known it or not, this is the energy that you've been in, and it is tremendously impacting like who you are and where you're going and what trajectory your life is on, in a positive way that you don't even need to know. Like, you don't even need to know where it is. It's like whatever you do, it's like you could choose so many different life paths or so many different directions. You're not even worried about making it the wrong or right choice, because you already have chosen yourself, right? So as long as you choose yourself, you choose fun, you choose lightness, it's going to make any choice that you make any direction you go in, the one for you. Excellent. Incredible. I'm very energized as well. So I feel like, if anything, a lot of you have been maybe feeling like an improvement in your energy, just energy levels. So again, maybe there's something about like the specific example of like, maybe you never found exercise fun, but you've developed your sense of fun enough that now you do find it fun. Like, for example, in my life, this actually is relevant because I never enjoyed cleaning in the past, but recently I found that I do enjoy it. I've like cultivated my ability to enjoy it by cultivating my ability and getting serious about my desire to just like have fun with things, to just make the choice to enjoy it. And then like eventually, you make that choice enough times, you set that intention enough times, you build that momentum, and then eventually it just happens, right? And then realizing, oh wait, that can apply to anything. So might as well experiment, right? And have fun with it. So we're just going to get a Hafiz card to close out with. This could be some advice, but it also can just indicate like where this is taking you, any closing messages. So let's see. We get 28, hold the connection. So the number 28 could be significant, but also hold the connection. It's bringing me back to the, and receive your blessings on the bottom as well. I feel like that's self-explanatory, but hold the connection is just like this connection of fun that you built. Hold the connection to fun. Hold the connection to your true self, which embodies this. The Lover's card here, even more significant in just like the Lover's card is about this connection, like a connection. And it can be your connection with yourself and with some aspect of life. And so you're just like, you are connected. You're already tapped in. Just keep holding it. Just keep reconnecting with that, building that up even stronger and stronger every day through doing what you're already doing, And in the booklet, it says, you are a member of such a royal family, there is nothing you can do to be disowned, and the eternal crown that awaits you, thousands have bowed to thousands of times. Yeah, so again, like monumental success, I feel like, in whatever way that looks, like however that looks to you, however that feels to you, but I also don't think that you need that or care that much about it. It takes a great intention and even greater will to maintain connection with the invisible. Yet your deepest truth and your greatest self is found right there. Now is the time to seek presence with the eternal. Go about your day, make your plans, face your fears, and indulge your joy, all while remembering your roots and your royal heritage, right? Yeah, because I feel like this, if you don't feel like you're quite there already, this is leading you towards just a greater level of like just self-confidence and just knowing that you don't need to like deserve anything. It's not about that. It's really just about the energy that you bring, and you've been cultivating that, whether you have been aware of it or not. So celebrate this, like I told group 1, celebrate this in whatever way you want to, but engage with that. At least set the intention, or say to yourself, I celebrate this achievement, I celebrate this, and I continue this momentum, right? Take a moment to just appreciate this energy that you've cultivated, and then continue on with what you've been doing. Continue on with nurturing this momentum in a fun and playful way. Awesome. I loved that. So I hope that resonated for you. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I would love to know if you want to share how this resonated. And if you're interested in personal readings, we do offer those on sunflowerphilosophy.com, link in the description. And we also offer hypnosis and human design services. So feel free to check that out if you want to. And thanks again for watching, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye! Hi Group 3, if you selected this 6 of Wands or 6 of Strength from the D&D Tarot deck, then this is your group, and this is your reading, all about something that we're celebrating you for, or Spirit is inviting you to celebrate in your life. So we're going to get some of these oracle cards first, and then talk about what it is that we're actually celebrating, and I'll get some more cards to clarify from the D&D deck, and then close with the Hafiz card, which is maybe advice, but also just potentially showing you where this achievement, this celebration that you're having for yourself is leading. So let's get into it. So first we have this bird card with pelican. Unselfishness will renew you. We have a moon card with balance, spirituality, and practicality, full moon in Pisces. And we actually have 2 angel cards for you. So we have acknowledgement, I acknowledge who I truly am. And we have kindness, I am kind to myself and others. Okay. And with the 6 of Wands, or 6 of Strength over here, I just wanted to say that maybe for some of you, this is something that we're celebrating you for that is actually something that is acknowledged by others. Like maybe there's a very specific thing that you've achieved, or something that other people are actively celebrating you for, like whether you're aware of it or not, but maybe for some of you there's like a celebration that actually took place. Maybe even for some of you a birthday. But more than anything with these cards here, I feel like we're celebrating you for, definitely for some kind of up-leveling, or like some kind of emphasis is being placed on your kindness, on your ability to acknowledge others in a way that helps them feel seen and appreciated. And I feel like for a lot of you, whether you're aware of this or not, you have become and maybe are a very kind and unselfish person. And it doesn't mean that you necessarily see yourself this way or actively think of yourself this way. This could be something that is simply being celebrated about you. Spirit wants to bring it to your attention, wants to celebrate you for this. But it could also be something that you've cultivated within yourself that has led you into this energy that you specifically have wanted to embody. And I feel like with balanced spirituality and practicality, full moon in Pisces, there's definitely some kind of culmination here of something. And so maybe for some of you, there is some kind of like award or like actual recognition that you've received recently in your reality pertaining to an aspect of like your character, who you are, and like your maybe unselfishness or generosity or kindness, where maybe part of you doesn't know if you can receive that, like you don't know if you deserve it, or you feel funny getting that attention. And Spirit's definitely encouraging you to lean into the celebration and to just allow yourself to feel good about yourself, right? Good about the impact that you've had on others, the trust that the recognition that you're receiving is genuine, and that your actions have had an impact on others in a way that is deeply meaningful. But even if it's not about some kind of like actual thing that you've been recognized for, I feel like Spirit does want to bring to your attention that your kindness and acknowledgement of others is being acknowledged. And Spirit also wants to acknowledge your kindness, your actions, your generosity towards others. Whether you see the effects of that or not, it does have an impact. And even if you're not like intending, like going out there intending to be generous, or like it's like you're not out there like, oh, I've been donating or I've been volunteering, something about the way that you're carrying yourself, the way that you're treating other people is having a real impact on others. And I feel like it might have to do with something that you've specifically been working on in your spirituality. Maybe with balanced spirituality and practicality, maybe you found some kind of like balance in your physical day-to-day life where you're able to bring your spiritual beliefs around respecting others, around the ways that or bringing like, you know, the concept of love and light into physical action, right? So there's some way in which you've achieved the balance of both spiritually valuing like, you know, love and cultivating spiritual energy within yourself, being focused on your own self betterment and your own progress, but you've also managed to balance that with taking actions in your day-to-day life to share that with others, to improve the lives of others. Like, you know, you believe in thoughts and prayers, but you also believe in acts of kindness, right? Taking that to the next level, taking that to the physical realm and acting on that, right? And so you've been working on balancing that in a way where you're not doing so from a place where you're depleting yourself, but you're also not holding back entirely and just retreating into yourself and not engaging at all with people around you. And if this is something that you value and something that you really want to have a positive impact on the world around you and on people in your life, this is your celebration to acknowledge that you have, and that this is acknowledged and seen and recognized by people, whether they say so or not, and that you have a meaningful impact. It's really, really quite lovely. And with this, unselfishness will renew you. Maybe some of you have even discovered recently that the act of giving, or the act of like intentionally setting out, like every day I aim to engage in one act of kindness, or I set the intention to engage with others in love and kindness, whatever. Setting that intention is actually having a physical impact on how you experience life, and it's replenishing you and perhaps benefiting you in ways you didn't expect. But I definitely feel like some kind of spiritual balance has occurred for you in your life, and we're celebrating this. We're excited about it, and I'm going to pull some tarot cards from the D&D deck to get more information on why we're celebrating this. Why is this being brought up? Why are we celebrating this? What else do you want group 3 to know about how their kindness is being celebrated right now? So let's get 5 cards. Why are we celebrating this? Why are we celebrating this in particular? I'm going to take this as the Sun. Knight of Wisdom, which is also Knight of Cups, which came out with the Queen of Charisma, which is the Queen of Pentacles. And then we have Page of Charisma, Page of Pentacles. And one more card. We got the King of Intelligence, King of Swords. Okay. Now let's see, is that all in there for you? Yeah, looks like it. Okay. All right. So, well, with the Sun here, first of all, the Sun card, at least in general, is a card about joy, about radiating joy. So I feel like whether you've been consciously, like, acting in kindness and unselfishness and, like, actively bringing your joy and love to others, like, through specific actions, or you just have that intention, or you just are, like, the Sun just radiates. So I feel like no matter what your intentions are, this is celebrating and acknowledging that you are radiating some kind of joy and abundance from you that has a very material impact on others, whether you realize it or not. Like, the Sun doesn't try to give off heat and light, it just does. And so this is celebrating really just who you are, right? And I feel like maybe you're being encouraged to celebrate this about yourself, just who you are as a person, because for some of you it's possible that you have in the past, or maybe even currently, have the feeling of feeling like you need to deserve, like, to do certain acts, or to do more, or like you're not doing enough in order to deserve, like, feeling good about yourself or just being happy in general. But this is just celebrating the ways in which you genuinely radiate, like, good energy, goodness, and for some of you, it might have taken you some time to get to a place where you really felt that. Like, for some of you, this might even be celebrating the fact that you might be able to recognize this within yourself now. Like, you believe in yourself now. You believe in your ability to just be who you are and radiate that out to others and have a positive impact on others. And your belief in that is, first of all, increasing your ability to perceive that it's happening, and also it's letting you just acknowledge it. Like, I feel like it's even just you acknowledging your own kindness, like your own ability to positively impact other people, is something to celebrate. With the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Charisma, the Knight of Cups is like someone who's coming and offering a cup, and I think, you know, with this knight having the shield and this armor and, like, moving forward through a field of, like, flowers and stuff, you might just, but being cups, being wisdom, like, you might be, like, almost like a knight in shining armor for some people, of wisdom, like, of emotional support, almost. Like, you go into battle for people emotionally, right? And it's, like, something that might not always get recognized or acknowledged in the moment, because there might be more of a tendency to emphasize, like, oh, I physically saved a bunch of people, so I'm a hero, I'm whatever. And it's not even like that it's about being a hero, but it's just like the kinds of things that we value and recognize might vary culturally, and people don't always see the value in the emotional support that others provide and the wisdom that people provide. But, like, it's like you're almost like a knight in shining armor for people, bringing wisdom, bringing emotional support in ways that you might not even recognize. And with the Queen of Charisma alongside that, like, that's confirming, like, this nurturing energy. Like, you're a provider. You really are bringing a lot to the table in terms of wisdom, in terms of emotional support, and maybe in terms of physical support for some people. But I think that it's really emphasizing the ways in which you bring a lot to the table that you may or may not recognize, but other people do. And also that may or may not be recognized or acknowledged in public, which again, maybe for some of you it just recently has been, or more people have been recognizing that, and maybe you've been shy to accept the praise that you've been getting. Or maybe it's something that, like I said, isn't necessarily generally acknowledged, but is something that nevertheless spirit wants to acknowledge, the non-physical realms wants to acknowledge and celebrate, whether or not you see that valued around you, whether or not you see your own gifts and things that you bring to people valued and reflected back to you, like it's there, it's happening, you're doing it. With the Page of Pentacles and the King of Intelligence, well, the Page of Pentacles, I almost feel like with this opening door here, maybe you've recently opened the door, or a door is opening for you in terms of progressing or moving forward, or almost like increasing your reach, your influence in a way that is still unknown to you, but is something that it's almost like you've reached the level where you're open to do that. You're open to, the doors are opening for you because of whatever like has culminated here in terms of your spirituality. And I do want to say this, like, I was emphasizing like something of your kindness and the joy you radiate, and maybe even some of the actions that you've been taking. This, and I said that it could even be something that's like been recognized in the physical realm, but it doesn't have to be. And I'm getting that actually for a lot of people, it might very much be spiritually. Like you might have been developing your spirituality, and through developing your spirituality, you've reached a certain level, whatever that means to you. You've reached a certain level, or a new level where doors are opening to you. You're opening more doors to, maybe even with the King of Intelligence here, I was feeling very much like the upper chakras. So maybe even opening up your psychic abilities, even maybe for some people opening up your intuitive or psychic abilities to reach more people. Like you've recently started a business around providing emotional support and wisdom through psychic or intuitive gifts or spiritual gifts and things like that. Maybe spiritual healing are things that you've been working on within yourself for a while that you're now starting to bring to other people, and this wants to be acknowledged and celebrated. But whatever it is, it's like something that you've cultivated internally, something that you've come to embody, is radiating out and impacting and helping other people, and also has the potential to do so even more. And with the King of Intelligence as well, for some of you, you are or will become or are in the process of becoming a very valued advisor, maybe specifically for some certain kind of job or role that you're going for or that you're even in, or in a more broad sense of like becoming a spiritual advisor in life, or having your own business or things like that. Like I'm getting King of Intelligence. It's not like I see him definitely as an advisor, as someone who is very articulate, a very skilled communicator, even sometimes a little bit detached. But I feel like it's almost because you have cultivated a lot of spiritual strength and wisdom within yourself. Like you have you might have gone through cycles of experiencing extreme like empathy, and I feel like you're a very caring soul. I feel like if anything, you've gone through some spiritual cycles that have leveled you up in the sense of being able to then detach enough from the emotional experience, from whatever you might be even picking up from other people, the energies that you might be picking up, in order to then now take that into practical advice, like taking your experiences and or the intuitions that you get, and being able to process them in a way, because you've been working on yourself for so long spiritually, because you've been developing your gifts so much spiritually, that you're now able to process them in a way that allows you to bring them to other people in the form of practical advice, in the form of practical solutions to maybe very spiritual or very like more emotional like problems or things that they've been dealing with that don't always have a very clear-cut physical solution, right? You're able to now process intuitions that you're getting, process things that you're picking up on, separate them out from what's yours, what's others, like where's it coming from, what's like you've leveled up in that way. You can now communicate and articulate these things on a whole new level. And I think it's being recognized by people, but it's especially being recognized by whoever's coming through for you right now, which I say spirit, I mean like the non-physical, maybe your spirit guides or your higher self, any entities that you associate with, or even if you don't, this recognition is coming through from those kinds of realms. But again, maybe for some of you, you're also receiving that recognition now around you in the world. But regardless, I feel like you've really leveled up in your intuition, in your intuitive gifts, whether you're aware of it or not. Like some of you might not have even specifically had this goal, but it's something that you have stumbled upon unintentionally. Others of you, I feel like you've been working at this for a long time. You've been honing these gifts. You've been hoping to level up, and you have. And this is acknowledging that this, whatever you've been doing, however you've been honing these gifts, has opened you up to a whole new level, a whole new refinement, I just heard, in your craft. And yeah, I feel like you just need to hear that, honestly, and celebrate that, be excited about it, because it is opening doors for you, and maybe already has opened some doors for you. And if you were ever questioning whether or not like you're worthy of that, don't. This is being celebrated specifically to let you know that like you're on the level, you're prepared, you're ready to keep growing in the direction that you're going in, but also to acknowledge what you've already achieved, that you have been this person, or you've been building to become this person for a long time. And we want to take a moment to step back and celebrate that before we just get right back out there and keep trying to progress, right? It's almost like you might have progressed a certain amount in whatever this is referring to, but you might have progressed a certain amount without even acknowledging that you've come so far, like how far you've come. So we're stopping to acknowledge that on the path before we're continuing on and just trying to get bigger and bigger and better and better, right? We're saying, well, actually, you're already like doing incredible work. Yes, you have new doors opening to you. Yes, you have new opportunities that are opening to you, but that doesn't mean that where you've been and where you are right now is any lesser than where you're headed in the future, right? Like, we can celebrate who you are and how far you've come right now. And I want to get a Hafiz card to also get more information on where this is taking you, because I feel like for you guys, that's like with full moon, with that being a culmination of something, like I feel like you really have hit some kind of milestone, whether you know it or not. Like something has culminated and come to fruition. So things might be like, if you've gone through a really serious like progression or change recently, like you've been in flux even for a while, where you feel like things have been really up and down, you've been growing, but you haven't necessarily had time to like take a step back, like breathe and like relax a little bit. Like maybe you've just been really focused on growing. This is saying that like it's culminating now. Like you're seeing the results of that now. You can settle into that, and you can let things like, you can dial it down a little bit. Like you don't have to be so on the ball all the time. Like you can celebrate and acknowledge like, yes, I've made it. I don't need to keep going at like, it's almost like I'm getting, because I've been watching a lot of Formula One racing and like content and stuff lately, and it's almost like, you know, you've driven the whole race, you won the race, you're world champion, whatever you are, and now you can do your victory lap, right? Like you can do your victory lap, and yes, there's going to be more races. Yes, you want to keep winning. Yes, you want to keep growing and improving, but you also like enjoy the victory while you like enjoy what you've achieved, enjoy what you've accomplished, acknowledge that. harness that energy and trust that you can keep going forward with the experience that you now have under your belt. But the only way that you can keep going forward with that experience is if you acknowledge that you even have it in the first place, right? And I actually just got the Hafiz card, Trust Your Wisdom, number 13. So I feel like a lot of you, you having leveled up in whatever way that you've leveled up, again, consciously or not, like you have, this is leading to a greater trust in yourself. Like, I'm really getting, for some of you, you might have, like, really opened up to some of your, like, intuitive gifts more. You might be coming online to certain, like, psychic gifts or relating to your intuition in a new way that is allowing you to trust your wisdom in a more concrete way, firmer than you did before, which, again, yes, will open up doors for you. Yes, maybe already has. Yes, is impacting and will impact people very positively. But it's also just like opening up the door for you to just trust yourself more, because you're realizing, oh wait, like I've really got it. Like I'm thinking of like someone who is like becoming a psychic medium and just is having all of these hits, and like maybe you've opened up even like a new way of like receiving information, right? Where like you maybe you used to receive a lot of information through like one mode. Maybe you used to be more like clairvoyant, and now all of a sudden you've also unlocked like clairaudience. So like you see things, but you also hear things or whatever. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly that, but that's the gist I'm getting, is that you've like unlocked some new level. You've unlocked some deeper aspect of your gifts that is just allowing you and helping you to trust yourself even further. And I want to read from the little booklet for number 13, Trust Your Wisdom. But that's really the gist here. Like, we're celebrating how far you've come. We're celebrating whatever you've unlocked here. But we're also celebrating just like I think for you guys really especially, like, it's just taking a step back and recognizing that who you are is enough. Who you already are is enough, and already has an impact on people, already has done good for people. And yes, you might unlock new levels of that. You might see more of that reflected back to you as you continue on this journey, whatever journey you're on. There's always room to explore and improve, but at the same time, like, what you've already done is relevant, and what you've already done has a tangible result that you can witness and acknowledge and celebrate already in this present moment. I really am I'm really coming back to those Formula One drivers. Like, I noticed, like, especially if you watch like the Netflix show, which who knows if that like fully, I'm sure that doesn't fully reflect all the attitudes of all the drivers and all the people involved, but like Formula One, if you don't know, is car racing, but it's more like, it's specifically like the European overseas car racing. It's not NASCAR. I'm from America, so NASCAR is the one that we have here. But like, there's really, like, these people, no pun intended, have a lot of drive, and so even if they win, like, they're always thinking about the next win, and they have very high standards for themselves, and they just have to be the best over and over again. And sometimes it seems like it might be hard for a lot of these people to step back and be like, well, I'm already like in the top league of everywhere, and I'm already like, I've achieved a lot, and like, I just won this race, so I can just celebrate and appreciate that right now, you know? I don't have to keep thinking about how I need to be better, or, you know, this isn't good enough, or, oh yeah, well, like, we won this race, but we lost the last, like, 5, and it's like, okay, yes, and yes, you want to build on that momentum, and obviously that's what you're here for, but you can also just be like, yay, we did it, right? And so I feel like that's really, like, you, out of all the groups, you really might need the most urging to, like, take a moment to really celebrate yourself, to really believe that you have something to celebrate, because you do. I don't know what it is exactly, because I feel like only you do. This, out of all of them, seems like the least tangible and the most, like, again, unless you're receiving some kind of award or recognition that you're having trouble accepting, but, like, if it's, like, some kind of psychic or spiritual gift, you might be the only one who's really aware of what it is. Still celebrate it, right? Acknowledge it, have fun with it. Let me read from the book. Hafiz says, What is the litmus test for wisdom? Having fun and loving. Wild loving. I don't know why there's a question mark there, but it is time to take action on what you already know, the directives you've already received. Trust your experience and the wisdom that has gathered in your body. Let go of doubt and move confidently in the direction of your wisdom, in the direction your wisdom has shown you. As the shackles of fear fall away, you will experience the playfulness and delight that trusting allows. Yeah. And this is not only advice that you can take, but it's also like where this culmination, whatever this is, this leveling up is leading you to deeper trust with self and within whatever field you're working in, or personal practice even, or just life in general. And that's really exciting. And again, is having a tangible impact on the people around you, or on whatever, like if there's a field that you're trying to influence, whatever it is that you're looking to influence and have a positive influence on, it's happening. Whether you see it or not, whether people acknowledge it or not, it is happening. Spirit is acknowledging it, and they want you to celebrate it. And they want you to take it as a given, that anything you put out with the intention of being kind and loving and giving good energy and giving something of value to people, whatever you put out with that intention, it is doing its job. Whether you see it right away or not, whether you see it at all or not, you sometimes have to learn to see it. Right? You have to be open to seeing it and acknowledging it and celebrating it. And that's what we're here to do today. And that's what I hope you've taken from this reading. So that is, I believe, all that I have for you today, group 3. So I hope this resonated. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to. If you are interested in sharing how this resonated, I would love to hear it. And also, if you're interested in personal readings, we do offer those on our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com, link in the description. We also offer hypnosis and human design services. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye! Hi, Group 4. If you selected the Six of Wands from the Thoth Tarot, or Thoth Tarot, this one, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading, which is all about something that we're celebrating today. So we're celebrating something that you've achieved, or some milestone, whatever wants to come through. It could be something obvious and in the physical realm that you've achieved, but it also could be something that you don't even know about, you're not even aware of, or you don't even know that you can celebrate. So we're just celebrating you. So let's see what we're celebrating. We've got some cards here I'm going to flip over. So first we have a bird card with eagle. Spirit, vision, and healing surround you. I think I was putting them over here. Yeah, we'll just go with that. And then we have a moonology card with North Node, step out of your comfort zone. And we have an angel card with choices. I choose for my highest good. Okay. So what we are celebrating for you, first of all, I almost said this is very straightforward. I don't even know if that's the case, but I also feel like with the Six of Wands from this tarot deck being so straightforward, it's 6 wands and it says victory on it, and like, I mean, the Six of Wands is often considered the victory card. I feel like this group might be a group of straight shooters. We're very straightforward here. Or that has something to do with what we're celebrating. But what we're celebrating here definitely has to do with you. Like, we're celebrating some kind of go-getter attitude here. Like a go for it, like a charging forward, charging ahead, and not deliberating too much on choices, not hanging around in indecision. That's the specific phrasing that came through. But instead moving forward, trusting that you see things clearly, you have clear vision, you maybe even have tunnel vision on some kind of goal or something. But with North Node, like, that's like, if, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe in astrology, the North Node is supposed to be something that you're moving towards, like, or you're growing towards, or it's like, I guess that's the kind of the idea that I get. Like, you're growing towards whatever sign is in your North Node, like that kind of energy, maybe incorporating that more into your life, or learning more about how you can move with that energy, work with that energy. And so I feel like you do have some kind of North Star or something that you're working towards, or a goal that you're moving towards, or you've made some kind of resolution to be this way in general about your life, to just go for it. And I feel like with Eagle and choices and North Node and victory, it's like you've just made the choice to go with your own vision and win at all costs, but not in like a negative way or in a way where you're like forcing things, but in a way where you just know that everything is working out for you. You just know like that when you make a decision, it doesn't matter if it's the right one or the wrong one. You're not even thinking about that. You're just thinking about how whatever decision I make, whatever choices I make, I will make it the right one, right? It's that kind of energy. It's like you're not overthinking things. You're just like, I'm just going to make a choice and I'm going to see it through and go from there. And I'm going to make it the right choice for me. Maybe you have a specific vision for some of you on some kind of project, but maybe for a lot of you, you don't need a specific vision. It's like you're holding the vision of like, maybe even the feeling of who you want to be and where you want to go, and embodying that in the moment and trusting that not only will you get there, but you already are there. You know, if that makes sense? Like, it's like the living in the wish fulfilled, like the manifestation thing, whatever, where you have your sights set on something and that something could even just be a feeling where you introduce it into your present moment. You embody it now so that you know you'll always have it in the future, that it will be part of your reality, that the visions that come to you for a reason, and so you can trust them and move forward without second guessing yourself, and also without second guessing when things like take a turn or go sideways or don't go in the way you expect. You're so set on victory, you're so set on your goal that it doesn't faze you, it doesn't bother you. You can flow with it, you can move with it. And we're celebrating this because I feel like this is an energy. Ooh, Eye of the Tiger. I just was drawn to the tiger's eye. This is an energy that I feel like you've been cultivating for a while, and maybe in the past you struggled with indecision, you struggled with making choices because you weren't sure if you could trust yourself, you weren't sure if you were making the right choice or the wrong choice. Maybe you were really caught up in that, and now you're just like making a choice, and you're just like, I know it's going to work out because I know who I am, and I know where I'm going, and I'm just claiming that and moving from there. And we're celebrating that energy because that's great, that's really awesome, and it's very powerful. So we're going to get more information on why we're celebrating this energy from the Thoth Tarot deck. So let's ask, why are we celebrating this energy for group 4? Why are we celebrating this in general for group 4 today, Spirit? Why are we celebrating this? The Priestess. Whoa, okay, hold on. We have Sorrow, which is the Three of Swords. We have these three came out together with the Universe, the Ace of Cups, and Abundance. And actually, that's 5 cards. But I guess I'll shuffle them up one more because it felt like maybe one more wants to come out. So is there one more card for this group? I'll just shuffle it a few times. Is there one more card? All right, there is. 7 of Wands, Valor. Okay. So let's arrange these neatly. With the Aeon, the Aeon or Aeon on the bottom of the deck, which is Judgment, I believe. Judgment. And this is about trusting your judgment, but it's also about like a culmination or like a end of something. And we have the Universe here, which is the world. So to me, that's like, yeah, this is definitely like some kind of cycle has ended, and maybe a cycle of indecision that's ended. And there's a decisive, powerful, go-getter energy that you've chosen to embody. Like you've made the choice of like, enough of all this in my head stuff. I'm going for it, whatever it is for you, you know? All right, so we have the Priestess and Sorrow here. So 2 and 3. The Priestess being High Priestess. So definitely intuition. Like, I feel like with this energy of like of just like going for it, of just making a decision, like you're very tapped into your intuition, whether you consciously are aware of that or not. And I think in the past, with the Three of Swords here, Sorrow, you might have had a lot of things that you were grieving, a lot of things that you were processing that got in the way of your decision making, that got in the way of you being confident in your choices, because you might have had a lot of attachments in the past or to the past that caused you to second guess yourself because you were very caught up in past energies that you needed to process still. And that's fine. That's something that we all go through. It's not that it's a problem that you were in that energy, but it's just that you finally reached a place where you've processed it. That cycle has come to an end and you're ready for new opportunities. You're ready to set your sights on abundance because you've cleared away all that energy that was blocking you from even seeing it or even acknowledging that that's a possibility or moving towards anything that would give you that abundance. Like you've learned how to begin to cultivate that within yourself. And with Valor, number 7, I feel like you're up to the challenge and you've decided that you are. And it might have taken you a while to get here because part of your healing process, I feel like you did go through a healing process, whether consciously or not. Part of your healing process was bringing yourself back in touch with your intuition and removing any past attachments, griefs, or sorrows that kept you from believing in yourself. Yeah, and kept you from just like believing in your vision and just like I'm getting a lot of air energy here, actually, I have to say. And not because like there's not a lot of air cards, but with the eagle, with choices and North Node, and I think of North Node, I believe my North Node is in Libra, so even though that might not be your North Node, air sign, I'm just thinking of that. But like there's a lot of thinking energy, but I feel like in this case, you have leveled up. I've said that in the other group too, something about leveling up, but I feel like you've moved into a space where you're more easily able to detach your thinking and your emotion. You're able to detach from your emotions and your thoughts in a way where you can work with them objectively, let go of things that no longer serve you in a more swiftly, and move forward from a space of, I don't need to overthink this. I don't need to protect myself. I don't need to be caught up in preventing griefs of the past. I can move forward confidently because I'm confident in myself, not because of anything even around me or anyone that's telling me what I should or shouldn't do, but because I know that my power comes from me. Like you're stepping into your empowerment. Your King of Swords, he's not even out here, but he was out in the last group too. So that group might be relevant to this as well. But I feel like I feel like I'm even over explaining here because I feel like that might be an energy that you used to be in. Like you used to feel maybe like you had to justify and explain every choice that you made, whether to yourself or to others or in general. And you had to come up with reasons and be like, okay, I'm making this choice because X, Y, and Z. And I weighed all these options and quite frankly, I feel like you've come to a place where you don't feel like you have to do that anymore. And some of it has maybe come from in the past processing certain times where you felt misunderstood, where you were afraid you made a mistake or someone else thought you were going to make a mistake. Maybe you've taken on a lot of other people's like lack of self-trust, where like maybe they've projected it onto you. It's not a big deal, it happens, but like I feel like you've processed all of that, you've moved past it, and you're just like, no, I just move through life, I make choices, I don't have to overthink them, I don't have to justify them to anyone. Whatever's offered to me, it's there for a reason, and I do with it what I want to do. And again, like this group feels very straightforward, very direct, because it almost feels like you're on your tracks, you're set on your tracks, and you trust them. You don't necessarily know where they're going, but you're going to stay on your track. You're not going to let yourself get derailed by anything or anyone. Like, you know what you want, and you're just going for it. And it's really quite simple, but I feel like it comes from you having spent time in headspaces where everything felt complicated, and you just were like, that's enough. I'm going to simplify this down. I'm just not going to think about it. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to trust myself and just see where that gets me. And like, you've broken through to that space, and Spirit is just basically being like, fantastic, mwah, beautiful. You close out a cycle of sorrow's blocking your intuition, really, and you've opened up to a more positive outlook as well, because part of that confidence is just being like, well, I'm confident that whatever choice I'm making is the right one, so everything that happens is working in my favor, right? Everything that happens is working towards my victory, towards what I want, so I trust that. I see the beauty and the opportunity in everything. I see abundance and opportunity in everything. And I trust that I'm up to the challenge. So any challenges that come my way, I move with them. I work with them. I vibe with them. I just take it. I take the challenge and I kick ass, you know? And yeah, it's just a very confident but also straightforward vibe where I feel like we've really done away with a lot of overthinking, and we're just out here doing whatever like we want to do, you know? And I love this for you, and I want to get a Hafiz card as well to basically see where this is leading you / you know, advice that might help you continue with this energy. But I feel like for this group, you know, you don't even need to know, like, use your power. Number 9. And 20, have patience is on the bottom, and I just feel like that might be relevant because I feel like you've learned that patience is important in this process in terms of, like, if you're just making a choice and trusting it, you have to be patient with the process so that, you know, if things take longer than you expect, you're not discouraged by it. You're just down with the process, right? You're just going with it. You know, you're using your power to say, no matter what doubts might creep into my mind from time to time, this is right because I choose it. This is working out because I choose it. This is my path because I choose it. No other explanation needed. That's using your power. You're just in your power always, so you can't be out of your power. So even if something happens that might have previously disempowered you or seemed disempowering from the outside, you're in your power, and it doesn't disempower you. You're fine. Like, you're fine. You just keep going. Eye of the Tiger as well. I mentioned Eye of the Tiger, and now we have a tiger here. Yeah, totally. This is very powerful energy. Let me read from the booklet. We have, use some of your wonderful power to pardon every deed of your own past that you might still be in conflict with, and the deeds too of any you felt ever harmed you. True strength comes from vulnerability. Your power, therefore, is at its zenith when you, and I don't know, zenith makes me feel like North Node. I'm not sure why, but your power is therefore at its zenith when you own all of your experience truthfully. When you forgive self and others and speak your truth without shame or fear, you grow fierce with reality. This is kind of reminding me of group 1 that might have some messages for you. But regardless, yes, like I said, you're very much in your power, and you might have, I think you've gone through a process of forgiving some things of the past that has allowed you to step into your power because you're just not weighed down by it anymore. Things that might have brought you sorrow in the past, attachments from the past, might have weighed you down, might have stopped you from making decisions, from just living your life and trusting yourself, and that's just not happening anymore. It's very, very similar vibes to group 1. Like, definitely, it's slightly different energies, but there might be some messages in both groups for you. But yeah, and because you're in your power, like, you're able to step into vulnerability. You're able to, because it can be a very, like, vulnerable thing to just, like, move forward and make a decision and stick to it and trust that it is the right one for you, and just, like, claim it and just, like, be like, step into that and be like, yeah, this is it, you know, I'll take whatever comes. Because you feel like you know, in the past you might have felt like you needed to protect yourself. You're just, like, putting yourself out there now, opening yourself up to all the possibilities that come along with the paths that you choose and the choices that you make. It can feel very, like, it's a very vulnerable thing, and your willingness to be vulnerable, to step up and say, yeah, I'm making this choice, I'm going to take what comes with it, I'm going to go for it. Yes, like, in a way you're opening yourself up by being vulnerable, but also, like, that is your power, is that you're not afraid of it. You're like, yeah, I'm stepping into my vulnerability because that is my power. And you recognize that, and you're not, yeah, you don't have your guard up anymore. And that just allows all these wonderful things to flow in because you know that you're up to the challenge. And how you define challenges is also up to you, right? How you see challenges, how you approach them, whether you even see them as a challenge or an opportunity or however you want to look at it, you're all about making your own choice about how you see things, how you view things, and that is making all the difference for you, and that's crazy powerful. So, wow, that's wonderful. So congratulations. I'm so excited to celebrate this with you, and I hope you take some time to celebrate it yourself, even just set the intention that, you know, I celebrate this myself, and keep moving forward, keep doing what you're doing, keep trusting yourself. Great work. This is exciting. All right. I think that's all we got for you. So thank you so much for watching this. I hope this resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. I would love if you let me know how this resonated for you. And if you're interested in personal readings, we do offer those on sunflowerphilosophy.com, link in the description, or hypnosis and human design services. And if you... Nope, that's it. That's it. We're done. So thanks again, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye!